Progressive presents Forced Metaphors about bundling your home and auto.
In sports, 3 goals is a hat trick. And when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, you get a hat trick of great savings and round-the-clock protection. So you might be thinking, wait, that's 2 things. A hat trick is 3. But in this metaphor, great savings counts as 2 goals, and so does round-the-clock protection. So it's like 4 goals, and that's more than 3. It's basic math.
Forced Metaphors. Presented by Progressive. Bundle and protect today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Welcome. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah. I'm Shafalika, and today I'm joined by Eddie. And I want to hear about this fun little thing Farah and Farah did yesterday for Paws and Stripes.
Oh, thanks, Shafalika. We try to have some fun at Farah and Farah, too. Keep the spirits up. But we got involved with, our office has been involved with the 5-star veterans over there right off, if you go down Atlantic Boulevard towards Regency, there's, that's where the 5-star veterans is located. It was a nursing home that was given to the veterans, and it's been completely redone. It's really a nice facility where veterans who suffer from PTSD and emotional and mental issues can go there and get help. You know, it's a place of refuge for them. They can live there. There are good people there that can help them out. They find them jobs. They just do everything for them. And, of course, all that stuff takes money, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes to do good things, you got to have the financial backing to get it done. And so we've been involved with 5-star for many years now. And so we started this Paws and Stripes thing where we teamed up with the Humane Society. They also need some help.
That's true.
And the veterans at 5 Stars have come in to help the people at the Humane Society, help with those shelter animals. So, and what we did is, well, how can we make us some money? So, well, first of all, we chipped in $10,000, and then we said we would donate $4 for every pint of beer that we developed. Intuition Ale House developed this. I kind of like it. It's a Pilsner. It's really good.
It's called For the Pups, man.
It's called For the Pups. That's the name of the beer. And it's really good. I like it much better than the one we had last year. Last year's was a little too sweet for me, but this one's really good. So, I mean, we sold for every pint of For the Pups that was sold a beer, we would donate $4 to 5 Star and to the Humane Society. So yesterday we were able to present to the Humane Society and to 5 Star a check for $25,000 to the veterans to 5 Star. So,
are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that's a lot of beer.
Yeah, you can do the math. And it was really good. At Brewhound, apparently, where it's a place here in town, you may know of it.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people go there. You can take your dog with you and hang out. But
oh, that's a cool spot.
Oh, yeah, it's a really nice place. The dogs running around and people there drinking beer. But it was real popular there. And obviously, to raise $25,000, that's a lot of pints.
That's true. It's 2,053 pints.
Yeah, something like that.
Just did the math.
Yeah. A lot better than last year. We did it last year. I think this beer was just a lot better. People liked it a lot better. And so anyway, it worked, you know.
Fantastic.
It's a great program. We have fun with it every year, and we love doing it.
That's a really cool thing. I mean, Farah and Farah has been around for 40 plus years. It's nice to see like fun ways to give back to our veterans and, you know, take care of the puppies.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome back to the show. Give us a call if you want to participate in today's conversation. We're having a great time here. Our number is 855-765-1045. Take it away, Eddie.
Yeah,
What's
thanks.
first on the
Again, you know,
docket?
your questions are our priority. I've got topics I want to cover today. But we do really want to, your phone calls are our priority. And again, you can call about any legal issue. We're a personal injury firm, but, you know, we have contacts throughout the city. I've been doing this for over 40 years, 42 years to be exact. And so I know people I can reach out to, real estate lawyers, you know, family lawyers, commercial lawyers. And sometimes I can get the answer for you if I don't know it and call you back with that next week. The other thing is you can always avail yourself. There's always the Jack's Bar Association. They have an attorney referral service for $50. You can consult with a lawyer for 30 minutes about your legal topic. These are great. These are some of the best lawyers in town. They have years of experience. They specialize in their area, and they charge a lot more than $50 a half hour. Believe me, some of these guys charge $500, $600, $700 an hour. But you can talk to them for $50 for 30 minutes. And a lot of times they can solve your problem or help you with it. So there's all kind of things out there that all kind of ways to get answers to your legal issues. But what I want to start to talk off today is a case that happened here in Jacksonville several years ago. We always talk about, in our office here on the show, and it's about vicarious liability. And what that means is when you're responsible for what somebody else does, okay? Typically, we talk about it in a car accident situation. I own the car, I loan it out, and an accident occurs, I'm responsible because I have control of the vehicle. I can determine, I can say, no, I don't want my cousin Joe to drive the car. If I consent to Joe driving the car, then I'm going to be responsible when he causes an accident. That's one scenario. There are many types of vicarious liabilities. There are things called non-delegable duties where you cannot delegate out some of your responsibility. For example, let's say I own a big box store and we hire some security company to keep security in the building, and the security company commits a negligent act and hurts somebody. I can't say, well, they're not my employees. I have a duty to maintain a safe premises. I have a duty to protect my customers. I can't delegate out that, okay? So there are certain things that you're going to be responsible for even though you're not involved in what happened, okay? Which brings me to this case that happened in Jacksonville. Someone's going down 95. There's somebody who's changing a tire on Interstate 95 here in Jacksonville. The at-fault driver comes by, strikes the person changing the tire, and the person's killed, okay? So the person files a lawsuit against the owners of the vehicle, right? The estate of the dead person looks at the title to the vehicle, and they see there are two owners, these two people, it's a husband and a wife. So he files a lawsuit against the husband and the wife, all right, for the wrongful death that occurred. Well, the husband, although he had purchased, the car was purchased by the husband and given to the wife as a present, okay? They then get a divorce. He forgets to take his name off the car, okay? He never drives the car because they're divorced. They're not together anymore, so they're separated. He doesn't buy insurance for the car, doesn't ever use the car, doesn't have the keys for the car, never registered the car. She did all that because she had the car. It was after the divorce, and so she was living her life, and she was dealing with all the issues of the car. She had it. He was not involved in any of that, but his name was on the title. So that's why he got sued. And so the court ruled in that case, because he said, well, just because my name's on the title, I know that what the law is, but I had no control over the vehicle. And the court ruled in that case that since the ex-husband had no beneficial interest in the vehicle, he could not be held responsible for what his ex-wife did. So he was able to escape liability on that case on that legal theory, even though his name was on the title. So it's a fair law because it was probably a mistake. He probably just forgot to take his name off the title and give it to her when they were divorced, or the car was still being financed and she was making the payment. And you know how the way these banks do it, if you try to change the title to the vehicle, that could escalate the total payment of the car.
Right.
Because they gave you the credit based on two people. Now there's one person on the vehicle. We want all our money up now. So maybe they just said, we'll deal with the title later. But the moral to that story is you don't want your name on the car if you're not using the vehicle, obviously. But there's a thing called beneficial interest. If you have no control over the vehicle and you can't use the vehicle and you are not involved in dealing with the vehicle at all, you probably will be able to escape any kind of responsibility if the car is involved in an accident and someone's injured.
Wow.
But that accident happened here in Jacksonville.
I have a
Interstate 95.
question. When somebody gives you a gift like that and then you get like a divorce and a marriage, if your ex gives you a vehicle, I've heard this thing called possession is 9/10 of the law. If you are given a gift, that gift belongs to you, even if it's not something as like a car, it's like a watch or a dress or something.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, that's more of a family law question. I know
Okay.
I mean, there's been all kind of litigation. If I give you a diamond ring and for an engagement ring, and then all of a sudden the deal's off, do I get the ring back? There are some cases on that, and I'm not too familiar with it, but this is a case. Yeah, he had given her a car while they were married.
Yeah,
and then they
she
got
had
a divorce,
after the
and
divorce.
it was intent for her to have it. She had possession of it. You're right.
I see.
She had total possession. She had total control. Even his name was on it. That's why he couldn't be sued, because he really had no. He couldn't control. He had no use of the car.
Yeah.
He didn't have access to it,
And no
which is probably a
benefits.
fair case, way to look at it.
That seems like that.
But that's the way the law is. Even though there are rules, everybody says, well, that's why nothing's black and white. You look at this case and you say, well, two people are on the title. I'm suing both of the people. They're the owners. Under the law, they're responsible.
Right.
But when you start digging into the case, you find out, yeah, maybe I was an owner, but I didn't have beneficial interest in the vehicle.
Right.
Beneficial ownership, excuse me. I didn't have a beneficial ownership of the vehicle, even though my name was on the title. Therefore, I should not be held responsible.
Wow. That's very interesting. And that happened here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, this Jacksonville case.
Wow.
But,
well,
okay, I think we have a caller here, Greg.
yeah, we're going to come back and answer a caller. Thank you for your patience, Greg. We'll be right back with you after this quick break. Feel free to give us a call at 855-765-1045. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah. All right, welcome back. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. Feel free to give us a call at 855-765-1045. Right now, we've got a caller on the line. Greg, thank you for your patience. What's going on?
Hello. Good afternoon. I live in a development that has CCRs and an HOA. And they include specifically what flags we can fly. We can fly an American flag, we can fly service flags, POW, MIA, and college flags. I have been flying an American flag that also has a thin blue line in support of law enforcement, and I'm getting several letters from the HOA saying I will be fined if I don't take down my flag.
Right.
To add a wrinkle to it, these rules are being selectively enforced. We have a Gladys Kravitz on our street who thinks it's her responsibility to go take pictures, send them in, and she doesn't send in everybody, just the people who she differs with philosophically. So what can I do? Should I keep flying my flag? It's really making me angry because I want to be able to support law enforcement and fly my American flag.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I don't know how they define an American flag in the HOA rules. That's what you got to look at. Is that defined as an American flag, or does it have, because it's got the blue stripe in it? I don't know. That's one issue. That's the issue that may be litigated. But I tell you, I've been down the road. I'm not a real estate lawyer, but I've been down the road with these HOAs. Go read them, and they got the upper hand. If they win, you got to pay all their attorney's fees. And there are fines and penalties that you'll get hit with. And if you don't pay it, there's a lien against your house. You just make sure you're going to win that lawsuit, because you're going to be paying. Because there are lawyers that's all they do. They represent HOAs, and they sue people who live there. They make their living by getting the residents of these HOAs to pay them money. And that's how these lawyers get paid. So just be careful. I'm just telling you, you're into something right now.
Let me ask you, is there an issue with the selective enforcement?
I don't know. I mean, that's an HOA. You may want to call, at the beginning of the show, I mentioned the Jacksonville Bar Association. They can connect you with an HOA lawyer who specializes in that. And for $50, you can talk to somebody. But I'll tell you, I've seen some of the attorney fee bills on these HOAs, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Because if they win, they get to go in front of the judge and say, Judge, I spent 20 hours litigating or working on this against Greg on this case, and my rate's $600 an hour. And 20 hours times 6, do the math. That's what Greg owes me. And the judge will say, okay, you're right. Here, you've proven the hours. Here's your hourly rate. Greg owes you this much money. So, I mean, all I'm saying is you got to be mindful of what you're getting into. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And Greg, that phone number for the Jacksonville Bar Association
I would start with that.
It's 904-399-4486.
Because that's where, for $50. That's where you want to start, because if they file it, because right now the HOA has nothing to lose. These lawyers take these cases, they don't get paid by the HOA. They just say, give me all your cases HOA. I won't charge anything. I'll get paid from Greg or Sally or whoever it is down the road.
Wow.
So it doesn't cost the HOA anything to hire these guys.
Wow, so that makes them...
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's why they got the upper hand. I've been through it, believe me.
Wow.
I'm a victim, too. I can tell you about it.
My goodness.
Yeah, just try to put your boat in your driveway in one of these communities. During a hurricane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg, for calling in, and good luck with that.
Yeah.
I wonder, is it a freedom? Is it a First Amendment right?
I don't think it's a private piece of property. You've agreed to. It's a contract. You can waive anything. You can waive your constitutional rights. I mean, people waive their constitutional rights every day. When you go get a loan from a bank now, you waive your right to a trial by jury. You got to go to an arbitration, so you can waive your constitutional rights.
Yeah,
that's not uncommon. People do it every day, knowingly and unknowingly. So.
You know what, Greg? I wonder if because that flag is hanging outside your house in condo, probably off of the wall of a condo property, right? If the flag was inside of his home in a window.
He's in a community.
Okay, but if it was inside his home in a window and he was displaying it that way, can they bother him about that? Because it's inside his home.
Well, displaying it, people can see it.
I mean, it's the same as a curtain in that sense. I mean, people don't complain about curtains. But if it's on outside the property where the condo has some rights.
Yeah, well, that's why they litigate. That's why you get a lawyer. And maybe you argue that. But it's a flip. You can argue it. But if you lose, just be prepared to pay some money. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. HOAs,
be prepared to pay.
Why did we invent those?
People don't want to live.
Yeah.
They want to be secluded from everybody.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it's a good question, Greg. I know we get them all the time, and the way these things are structured, they favor the HOA. Read the rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they would have to define the American flag as 50
maybe
stars
that's his
and red and white stripes.
Yeah. Red, white, and blue stripes.
Red, white, and blue stripes. Yeah.
If it's not defined, maybe. If it's not defined, he's probably got a chance.
He has a blue stripe. That's the problem that they're having.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
interesting.
It's a different yeah. Maybe he could win that. Listen, it's a legal issue. It sounds like he's got a viable argument because it is an American flag. It's just got a blue stripe through it or some fashion. Maybe he wins that argument. But if he loses, then there's money involved. You just got to be prepared to deal with that.
That's interesting.
And they don't cut you any slack. It's not like the HOA says, "Oh, Greg's been a good resident, and he's helped, over the holidays. He's helped people in the neighborhood. He's helped keep the place safe." It ain't up to the HOA. At that point, the lawyer controls the case, and he doesn't know Greg from the man in the moon. He wants his $10,000 or $15,000.
Would Greg be able to say like they're selectively harassing me or singling me out?
Why?
Is that?
Well, maybe nobody else is being. I don't know. The HOA is the HOA. There are no exceptions. I mean,
I'm so lucky. I have a good HOA that I get along with the manager, but Lord knows, HOAs are hard.
Cross the line and see how well you get along with
them.
Yeah,
I know.
Because they got a lawyer ready to take that case.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Well,
and the thing about it is, they can put a lien on your house, so you don't pay them. They got a lien on your house, but you sell the house 10 years down the road. They get their money plus all this exorbitant interest. And, a $10,000 judgment turns into a $30,000 judgment.
Gosh, that escalates so quickly. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, good luck to Greg out there in Jacksonville or in the Jacksonville area. Thank you for giving us a call. We're about to go to a quick break. Feel free to call in and share your stories and ask us some questions. We're here till 1, and we are excited to hear from you. Give us a call at 855-765-1045. This is Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back. You're listening to Legal Live on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. Give us a call at 855-765-1045. We've got a caller on the line. Let's take Jimmy from Jacksonville. You've got a hit and run question on I-19. Tell us all about it.
Yes. Yep. On I-10 eastbound through all that construction, and I was driving along, and a guy slammed into the side of me and kept on driving. And what it is they have all these lane shifts, and the lines aren't properly marked. So, I called, to report it, hit and run. The cop shows up. He's like, yeah, man, I could see it, man. And while we were even sitting there, people are flying by almost getting in other accidents. And he's like, man, this is pretty bad. And it happened to be right underneath a DOT camera, but I just didn't know if there's anything I could do. I mean, I got a wrecked up truck, and that's just the basic question I had.
Okay, Jimmy, yeah. I mean, you have a couple of options there. First of all, you should get the video. I mean, you can request a video. I don't know how long it's been since the accident, but the video would have a lot of it. You could probably get the tag off the video. But if the tag cannot be found, or you can't see who the owner of the vehicle was, if you're injured, you can make a claim under your uninsured motorist carrier if you have that kind of coverage.
Okay.
Did you buy uninsured motorist?
I'm pretty sure my wife takes care of that, so
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she's got the full deal because I drive pretty much for a living.
Yeah. If you have uninsured motorist coverage and you're injured, you can make a claim through your carrier through the uninsured motorist provision. So that's how you get paid for your injuries if you're injured. In terms of your vehicle,
Okay.
I mean, the other way is if there was something with the way the highway was laid out, because when they're doing construction, they have to follow certain schemes of the way the highway flows. There has to be certain signs positioned in a certain way. There's a whole book on it, on regulations when they're constructing highways. And if they deviated from those requirements, then the people who are doing construction on the expressway could be held responsible. But if it's just a vehicle you want to get fixed, it's going to cost, it's going to probably not worth it. If you have an injury, it's worth looking into both your uninsured motorist and the way the highway traffic flow was moving and whether it was in compliance or not. But those are the two things, and you should get the video anyway. I mean,
That's right. And
Yeah.
you can go to the FDOT for the cameras. That website is fl511.com. I use that all the time when I'm doing traffic reports throughout the week.
Yeah, you can get it. They'll send it to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. They've got so many cameras on I-10.
You'll find out.
It happened right underneath one, too.
There you
you
go.
should have it. You may be able to get the tag on it.
You might, and that footage doesn't stay around forever. So go to fl511.com and see if you can find a way to request that.
Yeah,
awesome. I appreciate all you guys' help.
Yeah, Jimmy. See, Jimmy brings up a good point there, Shafalika, about uninsured motorist coverage. We always talk about it. Well, you need to buy it. You need to buy it because, a lot of times people don't have insurance or you're injured and they got a $10,000 policy and your claim is worth $100,000. And your UM would come in and pay you that money. But here's a situation where the person just takes off, and if UM would cover Jimmy, let's say Jimmy was riding his bicycle and some vehicle comes by and whacks him and keeps going, his uninsured motorist vehicle coverage from his car would cover him on a bicycle. So it's great coverage. Jimmy brings up a great little scenario there where it comes in handy. And so, again, we always talk about buying it, and this is just another reason to have it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Thank you for calling,
Have
Jimmy.
a good one.
Yeah, man.
No problem. I listen to your traffic reports all day.
Oh, do you? I'm so glad.
Jimmy's on the road, man. He's got to.
Well, thank you for listening.
You guys have a great weekend.
Yeah, man.
All right. You too. And let's see. We've got another caller, Stanley from Fleming Island. You've got some questions about loopholes and pitfalls of nursing homes. What's going on, Stanley?
Hey, Stanley.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate the service you provide our community in so many levels, Mr.
Thanks.
Farah. I'm very grateful.
Hey, thanks, Stanley.
Yes, sir.
We love doing it. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. Yes, sir. The question I have revolves around signing a nursing home agreement as power of attorney. They have a responsible party on their nursing home agreement. And just a question about the loopholes and the pitfalls of signing an agreement like that.
Well, first of all, they may not let you put put the person in the nursing home unless you do sign it. I mean, the power of attorney, the reason why they want the power of attorney is, one, because you can't claim that, oh, I didn't know what I was signing. You know, maybe I've got some dementia or I've got some diminished capacity and I didn't know what I was signing. Therefore, I'm not bound by the nursing home agreement. That's why they have a power of attorney, somebody like you who signs it that's competent, that you can't use that argument. They're doing that to protect themselves so they can have, you know, so they don't, there's no loophole, you know, I mean, and so also you're probably signing what they call an arbitration agreement, which says that if something happens at the nursing home and the nursing home's responsible, you can't file a lawsuit. You got to go through an arbitration to get any kind of relief.
Okay. Yes, sir. Now all that.
Huh?
All that's in line with what we're looking at. The agreement does have arbitration, but yet they're still in a lawsuit over financial responsibility for the patient's bill.
Well, just because you have the power of attorney, does it make you necessarily personally responsible for the bill, unless you signed something stating you'd be personally responsible? Did you? What are you concerned about? Being the POA and being held responsible for the bill?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what's going on. We've got a situation where a loved one was in a nursing home and it was a dementia related thing, and now we're being sued for the bill that was incurred.
I know that, but you're being sued, or is she being sued?
The power of attorney is being sued.
Yeah, but is the power of attorney being sued individually, or in their capacity as individually, not just like because wow.
Individually, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to see that contract because, I mean, I could take a look at that and tell you what's going on. Typically, they're sued, but they're not sued individually. They're sued in their capacity as the POA. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Have you already gotten the lawsuit? Has it been filed in court, or is it just a letter?
No, it's ongoing. It's pending.
Okay. They've got a lawyer and all that, and it's full going forward?
They do, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to see that lawsuit. I'd like to see the contract. Was there a contract attached to the lawsuit when you were served with the papers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'd be glad to let you see it, because if they're doing it to us, they're doing it to other people, and it's very uncomfortable enough to be put in a situation where, like you said, you have to sign it for your loved one to be cared for.
Yeah, really have. I see what you're saying. You have no choice. I'm just surprised they're holding you personally responsible. That's something I am not familiar with. You could also reach out. Have you talked to an attorney about it?
Yes, sir, I have. And
what have they told you?
Of course, yeah, it's like you said, most attorneys are very shocked that they're trying to do this on a personal level. That it would be different if it was filed against the estate or against the power of attorney. But to on an individual case, the attorneys are shocked that it's happening like this, but it is. And Mr. Farah, I'm very grateful for your time. I'm gonna let you get to some other callers. Maybe you can help on there today, because this is something that is personal, and I just wanted to bring it to the attention of people that may be signing these documents. That there's a lot more to it than just hurry up and sign, and we'll take care of your loved ones. That there are possible long-term ramifications for a quick decision, and it's always best to consult.
Were they not getting paid from Medicare or Medicaid?
No, it was private pay. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, that's something. That's the first I've heard of that. Again, I would maybe contact the Jacks Bar Association. They've got nursing home experts there that you can talk to for $50.
Okay.
I mean, they're at 399-4486. They'll find you a lawyer. But apparently you've talked to us. I just want to make sure you talk to the right one. I mean, maybe did you talk to a nursing home lawyer or just a guy like who does everything? I mean, did you talk to us?
Yeah, it was more of a bankruptcy attorney trying to settle the debt and didn't really understand or do trial work. So once they started working their way toward trial, the attorney felt like they were in over their head, and now it's it doesn't go away just because you don't have an attorney.
Yeah, I know. And they're gonna try to hit you for attorney's fees on top of that and the money. Wow.
Yeah.
That's I tell you, Stanley, that's a shocker to me. It really is. Because
Mr. Fair, I'd be willing to show you the contract and let you see.
I'd like to see it
because
I'd like to see it.
I think I'd like you to look at this because I know this that
you know what
one of the attorneys said that this is a new business practice that they go after assets and they are trying to get guardianship and it's a lot more to nursing home care than meets the eye.
You know, if you were to make a copy of the lawsuit and the contract, you're in Fleming Island. You can drop it by my Orange Park office on Kingsley Avenue. Put your phone number on it. I'll look at it and call you back.
Yes, sir, Mr. Farah.
Thank
you very much. God bless you, sir. I appreciate you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Farah and Farah brought to you by Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah. Oh my gosh, my heart went out to Stanley. Oh, thank you so much for calling, Stanley, to let people know.
Robert, he's right. I told you, Robert's just confirming what I said.
Yeah.
I know Robert. We'll get to you in a second.
We'll get to Robert in just a minute. Thank you for calling, Stanley. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back. You're listening to Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. We've got one last caller on the line, and I just want to say again, thank you, Stanley, for calling and sharing your story with us. We hope that it works out for the best for you guys. We've got Robert.
Quick story. Yes, I have a quick story.
Yeah, go ahead, Robert, because I hope Greg's still
listening. Many years ago, my dad was defending my daughter to use one of the water parks, and it escalated out of hand. The attendant called the cops. It was all verbal. It got to the manager. The manager went to the board president. They wanted to ban my dad for like 2 years from using the facilities. Dad had to pay a lot of money to defend himself. He hired an HOA lawyer. He sent out letters to the residents. But if he wouldn't have had the resources to do that, he would have been banned for 2 years. And the HOA backed down because he did have the resources. And this happened, it was about 10 years ago. But it's a true story about the HOAs.
Yeah.
You're right.
You can't, I tell you, Robert, they're tough to beat. Your dad has spent a bunch of money. A lot of people don't want to make that financial commitment. He did. But he still had to pay a lot of money.
Thousands of dollars just to restore his right.
Right. I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you start finding those guys, I don't know. You sign that contract that you're agreeing to all the conditions in the deed and in the HOA agreement. When you want to live there, you got to agree to it. And they've got the upper hand. But, I appreciate it. Hopefully Greg was listening.
Yeah. It's a true story. But they did back down because not all the facts were correct, and they actually overreacted is what the HOA did.
Yeah, I can't say
so they did back down.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're always winning, but for you to win, it cost you a lot of money.
It cost a lot of money, and you're right. If he wouldn't have had the resources, he would have been banned for 2 years.
And let me tell you, and if he lost, he's not just paying his lawyer, he's paying the other lawyer too. It's a double hit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for taking the call.
Thank you for calling, Robert.
You're right, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Next on the line, we've got Luis from Fleming Island. You've got some next-door neighbor issues. What's going on?
Hey, Luis.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing? Listen, I just got a brief question. We've been having some issues with the neighbor next door, and she happens to be also part of the Homeowners Association here on Pine Avenue. It's just we had a number of encounters with her, and it's very aggravating. And so she'll come over and reassign or fix our sprinklers, make threats, take video pictures, pictures of the people that I hire to work in my backyard, and they'll even challenge me and ask me, "Why did you let him get away with that?" So, she and her husband will climb a ladder to actually take pictures of the guys that I work with.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's not even an HOA thing. There's no expectation under the law. That's not an invasion of privacy because that's out in your backyard. You really don't have it. It's all about an expectation of privacy. Do you have a reasonable expectation of privacy? If I'm in the backyard laying down, getting a suntan, there's nothing wrong with the guy next door taking a picture of me doing that because I'm out in the open doing it. Now, if I'm in my house doing something and he's peering through the windows, it's a different story. But if you're outside, what is your expectation of privacy there?
Well, the thing is the way she goes about. This morning she was adjusting our sprinklers because.
That's a trespass. That's different. I mean, she's trespassing on your property. But if she's on her land taking video of you, not much you can do about that.
Yeah, I realize that, and so I'm not the only one. This goes on, and she tried to prevent a retired commander next door from selling her house because of she hired some people to come in and do some work in the backyard. Well, she was doing the same. She went to the courthouse, filed satellite pictures, and submitted all that paperwork to her in preventing her from those people coming in and doing any kind of work. So. Basically, she is a nuisance, and so to the neighbors beside them, also they picked a fight with. So it's ongoing. Now, I don't know if I have any ways of having a restraining order.
You would have a recourse if the HOA agreement says you can't spy on your neighbors, you can't videotape activities in a neighbor's backyard, something like that. I don't know if there's anything in the agreement. But just generally, somebody sitting in their backyard videotaping something on somebody else's yard, there's nothing wrong with that.
We do have a fence, and so they put ladders and they climb the fence, and what they're doing is they're videotaping from their property.
Well, they could send a drone over or something like that. I mean, so I don't know. You'd have to check the HOA agreement to see if there's anything to prevent someone from doing that. Otherwise, I can't see it.
Thank you so much, Luis, for calling.
Yeah, man. HOA, we could do a whole program here on HOAs.
I think we do. We need a HOA special. HOA Nightmares on Legal Live, brought to you by Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV. Thank you for listening and calling in. We'll be right back next week at noon on 104.5 WOKV.
Hi, I'm Flo from Progressive. Being a baseball fanatic like me can be stressful. It's not all sports points and touchdowns. So Progressive is going to help you take your mind off your team for a moment. Instead of thinking about how they missed that goal point score, think about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, letting you choose coverage options based on your budget, unlike your team that missed the end zone net area. Well, anyway, hope this distraction about Progressive's Name Your Price tool was helpful. It sure kept me from thinking about all those penalty balls. Yay, sports!
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.